People will pick and choose like one or two habits and expect the transformation, but they're unaware or unwilling to do the little parts in between. And I think that's where we get into trouble sometimes, because we talk so often about habits and it's easy for people to be like, well, I'm doing the habits that you said, but sometimes it's like that middle part, that, or the underneath part, mindset, environment, that teamwork, that really we miss out because we give up too soon to see that the consistency does 100% always pay off in the end if people are willing to do it.
Welcome, everyone. Today, we want to talk about the importance of setting up a support system or accountability partners or having a coach to guide you through, and how we've seen it in enabling people to reach the results they want, but not just reach them, but maintain it. So I'll just throw it out there. Either of you want to start with a point or an idea around this?
Sure. I think this is a really important part that I don't know, I think becomes more and more obvious the longer we do this. Is oftentimes we'll have clients that maybe like come in and maybe they live alone or don't have a support person, or maybe their spouse or significant other isn't ready to make those healthy changes, and they find it really hard to do that unless they have like a coach, or I don't know, I like to call it like a cheerleader that is like keeping them accountable and, helping them feel successful along the way. And I think it's super valuable for those people, especially, to find that person. I mean, like if you and your spouse or certain individual or roommate or best friend are on the same page and you want to do it together, then obviously you probably have a little bit more environmental motivation, but not everyone does. And I think that's where it can be like extra important to have that coach and cheerleader along the way.
Yeah, I think, and then even extending a little further from that, it's about, so when we meet with people to see if we can help them reach their goals, if they're a good fit for our program, we ask, what are the 5 reasons why this is important to you? Why do you want to reach these goals? Why do you want to change? Why do you want to transform your life? And we've done this in a past video. And if you want to be linked to that video, just comment below and we can show you that video. But what happens then is, once we help people root themselves in this deeper reason to why they want to change and to grow, that's when we see they achieve success. Right?
Mhm.
Because it's deeply rooting them to a reason why they want to grow. And then going even beyond this. So we also ask people who are working with us to share it with a spouse, with a friend, with a support system, with an environment that, or someone who wants to help them grow. And that is so, so important. It's not just about having someone in your corner. It's about having someone who wants to help you grow, who wants to see you step into a better version of yourself, wants to see you get more out of life, wants to see you the healthiest person you can be. And so the first step is creating those whys as an individual, but even more powerful step is having a support system that you can share your whys with, keep you accountable, and then having a coach you can share it with, have a gym environment, accountability group, whatever it might be. But we've seen so much more progress and, yeah, success from people when they do these things.
Yeah, I think, um, well, like we've talked about the importance of having coaches in multiple different aspects of our own lives. Like personally, we all three of us have different coaches in different aspects that help us out regards to business, fitness, maybe nutrition as well at certain points in time. And basically, you're creating like I'm creating a team Tom, Matt's creating a team Matt, Jalisa's creating a team Jilisa, right? Basically, and yeah, maybe seems a little bit, I don't know, it can seem like selfish maybe for a second, but you're like, no, these people are all here to help you. And then you in turn are going to probably be helping somebody else. Maybe you're a part of somebody else's team cheering them on for something
Mm.
that they're wanting to work on or go through as well. So I think like, yeah, creating a team for yourself is super important. And regardless of who is on that team, they all need to know what your deep rooted reasons why are, I think. And so having that conversation, like Matt said, that's like one of the first things that we ask people, or we've started asking people now on our calls for the first time is, we want you to come up with these 3 to 5 reasons why. And then we also want you to have that conversation with your support system, whoever that is, just to make sure that they are aware of what you are potentially taking on. And I would assume and hope that they would be 100% supportive of whatever you want to do to help improve yourself in whatever aspect of your life it is. So create your own team. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you guys can add some more points, but I'm going to pull up the iceberg here. You can see it?
Yep.
Okay. So this is kind of a graphic, infographic we use for people to make sense of everything we're talking about. Everything above the water is that achievement, that weight loss, that muscle gain, that outwardly facing confidence, that transformation of you as a person. And that's what we want, right? I mean, people want to be healthy and fit and strong and capable and functional in life. But the stuff underneath is where the real change happens first. So most of the time, people just stop at the habits, meaning they get a nutrition plan, they get an exercise program, they might go to a personal trainer. But what we found with trial and error and with a lot of educating ourselves and from other people is it has to go deeper than that, right? There has to be a mindset shift component, this internal change. Then you can even see above that habit part is an environment. And this is what we're talking about is there has to be a supportive team around you. Like Tom said, there has to be a team, Tom, that wants to help him grow, that can, like, let's say as a coach, right? A good coach doesn't just tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear in a loving way. Because without telling you what you need to hear, then they're just trying to cheerlead you along in another program as an example. But in reality, you need to change parts of internal parts of you so that you can have that transformation you see up here. But you not only have your transformation, you can maintain it. Do either of you two have anything to add on that?
I think it's just like most common that people will pick and choose like 1 or 2 habits and expect the transformation, but they're unaware or unwilling to do the little parts in between. And I think that's where we get into trouble sometimes because we talk so often about habits, and it's easy for people to be like, well, I'm doing the habits that you said, but sometimes it's like that middle part that, or the underneath part, mindset, environment, that teamwork, that really we miss out because we give up too soon to see that the consistency does 100% always pay off in the end if people are willing to do it. It's just that you have to have that patience, and sometimes like we never promise things are going to be easy, and so when it gets hard, if you don't have that team or if you don't have that cheerleader, it's easy to give up. But if you do have that team, that person that is like mentoring you through it and reminding you why you started, what your whys are, and what the expectation is at the end, they can often get you through those bumps and help you to see the benefit of continuing, even if you don't get to that transformation as soon as you think you should, because we always think we should get there sooner than we do. So yeah, I think it's just important to remember that like habits aren't the only thing. It's like a whole big picture we have to remember to look at.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Tom, do you have anything to finish off with?
No, well, kind of just what Jaleesa said there. Like we've talked about the compound effect before
Mhm.
and the small habits, adding up, and eventually you'll get to a point where you will see some awesome progress. But quite often people don't necessarily continue with the doing the right things for long enough before they get to that point. And it's not that you were doing the wrong things even, it's just maybe that you weren't doing them for quite long enough. And one of the things that can like help you stay on track for long enough is that support system and that team. So that's where your the overall environment, like Jilisa is talking about, and a little bit of the mindset too, obviously. Well, not a little bit, like a lot of bit of the mindset of like getting behind the fact that yeah, it's probably not going to come as soon as you wanted it to. Um, but that environment piece to help ground you and keep you on track is probably one of the, if not the biggest thing as well.
Yeah, it's that principle of five, the average of five, right? You start to mirror the five people you spend the most time around. So then you can still spend time with other people who maybe aren't going the same direction as you, but you just really have to take a realistic look at where you're spending your time and in what environment. Are they going the way you want to go? Are they helping pull you further along? You should always be around people that maybe are just a few steps ahead of you so that they continue to help pull you forward. And then you can bring other people along with you too and kind of be a step ahead of them and bring them along. The average of five, you'll kind of start to mirror whoever you spend the most time with over a certain amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think it's really important to talk about your goals with your average of five, not just your coach, but whoever that your other five might be, whether it's a best friend or a parent or a spouse or I don't know, your work best friend or something, but
Your
just
dog,
someone, yeah, for sure, like 100%, that's most important. The more you talk about it and the more people that you have that know about the goals that you're working towards, the more accountability you're building in for yourself and the more cheerleader you're building in for yourself. Cause then it's like surrounding you and not just like the 3 or 4 times a week you see your coach or your trainer or whatever it might be. But in a lot of conversations you're having throughout the day, that person just knows what your goals are and what you're going through. And that can be so encouraging and so beneficial and just help you like maintain your consistency, especially.
love it. Thanks, team. It's been great. Have a fantastic holiday season. I don't think we're doing one on Thursday. We'll do another one next Tuesday,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.